So, what I will do, I've been given about a half an hour to 40 minutes. I'm not going to bore you with theory. I know this is probably your first month at the B school. I'm going to give you some life lessons. Okay, some life lessons, because I believe theory is something you may forget. The lecture ends and you will forget that. But life lessons is something that you will take it back with you, even when you walk out of this B school, or you step into your corporate career, your marriage life, or whatever. Life lessons is something that you keep in mind. So I'm going to talk about more life lessons, which will help you in your corporate life. I'm going to talk about behaviors. I'm going to talk about competencies. I'm going to talk about traits, which as leaders, when you walk into a corporate career, you need to inculcate, you need to hone on. Okay? Because at the end of the day, in a corporate career, skills is something everybody acquires. You can teach skills, but acquiring the right competencies and behaviors is very, very difficult. And let me tell you, no B school, technically, maybe this may be an exception, actually teaches you how to behave, how to be a good leader, a good professional. So that is what I will talk. I'm going to do less of talking, more I believe in storytelling through videos, through pictures. So you'll find my slides are very light, more videos. That's the reason I don't check if my audio works. So I would request all of you to probably put your mobiles on silent, just as a courtesy. But I would like you to use your mobiles, and I'm going to come and let you know why. Just want to do a bit of a dipstick in terms of how your feeling is being a part of the university. Take your mobiles out, okay, and go into menti.com. Just all of you, www.menti.com on your Chrome or your browser. Once you're in menti.com, I would like you to go and put this code 631 961 69. 631 961 69. And you will get this question. I hope you are there on it. Are you on it? Menti.com, menti.com. How many of you, and I just, you have three options to type, three words. Go for it. Type. What's your feeling being a part of this university? What I'm going to do, oh, you don't see it? Sorry. You won't see it because I think I need to go here. Oh, have this. You see it? Okay, I see one response. Okay, sorry. And let me probably blow it up. Okay, boring. And this is feedback for your faculty as well. So don't use any unparliamentary words, please. I see about responses, 34 responses. So you can give practically 3 responses per head. So I don't know how many students are there. If the 30, about 90 responses ideally should come in. I don't know how many are there today. I was told 35 students, probably a little less than 35 today. So okay, that's good enough. That's a pretty decent, statistically good number, 40 odd. So I see knowledge, excitement, energy, enjoyment, excitement, happiness, not bad. That's a pretty decent word cloud. But I think it's centering around trying to learn something, enjoying the journey, and also being excited and energetic. Good, lovely. Let me hang on to that. Let me go to this next one. What's your purpose? And purpose is a very important thing. What's your purpose for being at this university? And you have 4 options. Learn and have fun, a successful career, build a successful startup, or give back to the society. There could be more. I just thought of restricting you guys to 4 options. Here you have only 1, so I could total it 22 responses, but I'm assuming 22 students a year. Super. Most of you are talking about successful career. Great. That's great. I mean, that's what I still recall. I was majorly ragged when I was my first day in college, in MBA. And ragged in the sense, my seniors set up. Our seniors had set it up. I know it's an anti-ragging policy. I saw that. It's a very mild form of ragging we had, where seniors had come in. They set up in the first day that you're going to have a placement, and companies are coming and sponsoring. So they actually acted as professionals of companies, took us through GDs, interviews. We actually felt it was company, and then they figured out we were fooled. That was kind of a mild form of ragging we had in the very first day, and the very all in that nice banter. So great. So got a bit of feedback. There's one more that's going to come in, but that's going to come in later. Okay, I'm going to toggle between this and the PPT. Hope it works. So we did this too. Now, how many of you watch movies? Not many? Good theaters in Gurgaon, by the way. You do. So Hollywood, what is your... Both. Okay. So, fine. So, how many of you know this guy?
He's from Equalizer.
He's from Equalizer. Okay. What's his name? No using Google Lens or something. He's a very popular Hollywood actor called Denzel Washington. How many of you have watched his movie? Equalizer, is it? Okay. Equalizer 3?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Any of you have watched Denzel? He's probably one of the finest actors that Hollywood has produced. I love him. I've watched all his movies. So I'm going to play a video. And this video was Denzel addressing a batch of B-school graduates who are graduating out. So the difference is you guys are walking into a campus, and this was something he spoke about for people who are walking out of a campus. But there are life lessons that you will get. Great speaker. I hope the audio works. Fingers crossed. And there you go.
Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there. And you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
What do you say? The next slide is trying to summarize what he said in some words. You heard him saying, and I put supers so that it registers better. So there's one typo, doesn't matter if you picked it up. What did he say?
He said not to give up and keep on working even after the mistake is done.
Yeah, he said fail big. Very few people tell people that fail. You have to fail, but learn from your failures quickly. Fail big. What else did he say?
Be consistent and dedicated.
Hard work, discipline. Absolutely, that pays. He said successful people are those who worked really hard. What else did he say? I said I'm going to teach life lessons today. I'm not going to bore you with theory. These are all life lessons. What else?
You already do it.
Yeah, that was not the message. He said, in a world of texting, flirting, and maybe YOLO as you call it. But he said, dream big. My mind. But I've been saying, what are you going to be remembered for? What are you going to be remembered for? Okay, future creator. What is that one thing you want to tattoo or put it on your t-shirt saying that this is what, I'm sure you guys will create some merchandise for the batch of 26. What is that one line you want on that merchandise, t-shirt or whatever it is? Okay, shines brighter than ever. 100% placement. Okay. I'm trying to keep it a little more interactive. I didn't want to have it a one-way dialogue, so you guys are individually putting it on this. No problem. Only 5 responses so far. That's not great. You have 22 of you on here. 7. Okay. Couple more minutes. I don't think it takes that longer time to craft a headline of a newspaper. You all are done, the first benches? Yes. Right. Highest package. All right. Best university. Most successful batch. So I would suggest, you should have a session where you should craft what your vision for the batch is going to be. You should craft a one-line vision for your batch. There's something written at the back, our vision of the world. You need to craft what the vision for the batch is going to be and live that across the 2 years. So if I have to probably say a 2-year MBA course, or rather let me put it back, a school is like a test series, your undergrad is like a one-day series, and this is like a T20 series, let me tell you. You blink and the 2 years will go off. So make the most out of every day that you spend in the university. Super. So I'm going to get back. So what I see is placements, I see innovators, I see a successful batch, I see Probably someone has deleted the package. It's there somewhere. Nice. I'm just going to toggle. Let me hope it works. Okay. So you guys crafted the headline for the newspaper. Now let's get into some simple life lessons which would be useful for you when you enter the corporate world. And I just stole it like right, saying 6 habits of effective teams. So at the end of the day, see what happens is the day you venture into a corporate world, this whole concept of individual contributor at early stages will be there, but you'll be more a team player. Here, your individual brilliance, your individual capabilities will be tested when you give your exams. When you work in projects, you work as teams. But in most of the organization, it is teamwork that makes a difference. Either you win as a team or you lose as a team. So a lot of it is going to be around behaviors, competencies. Sorry, it was F24, that was my last organization, so I didn't. So one is a bias for action. And this is one of the most important competencies that we used to evaluate when I was in Unilever. Because we used to say a lot of managers had this concept of a lot of debate, especially Indians, but hardly any action. So bias for action, speed is very important. And I come from the FMCG industry where the first 2 alphabets are all about movement. It's about fast and it's about movement. So it's fast moving consumer goods. So speed is the essence. So again, let me try. It's a inspiring video from the 2012 London Olympics. Just to give you a perspective, there's a concept called challenger brands. You may be a very small brand. You may be a relatively smaller university, but can you beat the IIMs? Maybe not everywhere, but can you beat them in one particular area? So this is about a very small, tiny drop of an ocean, island called Jamaica. You all have heard of Jamaica. Jamaica, what is Jamaica? It's a drop in front of a United States of America. Okay? But look at what they do.
There was still time for a speck of an island in the Caribbean to have the final say. The 4x100 meters relay.
Jamaica's got to get moving here. The back checkers are good. Creighton with it. Creighton will be having it. Too good. The Gatlin's gone well. And now Tyson Gale. I think he's in chamber. Let's go right on the Americans between these two. Ball's going to have him in the lead. And you know what that means. Here he goes. They've got the battle. Bailey's got the one on the mark. He's got no chance. Ball's away and gone. Jamaica on the gold medalist again. And it's a new record. Smashes into pieces. Two great teams, but only one can stand tall.
One small island.
So you get 2 lessons. One is the need for speed, and second is saying that size is not everything. It's a small little island neighboring the United States of America, but beats the red guys are the USA guys, by the way. They beat them hands down. So that's what urgency, action, speed is all about. Another important life lesson I would like to leave behind is whatever you do when you meet here or in corporate life, finish it and take ownership. So if I have to put a triangle and divide the triangle into 3 halves, the bottom half is, if I have to call it, responsibility. So you're responsible to do something in an organization. As you go up, you say accountability. Accountability means I'm responsible. If things don't go well, hold me accountable. hold me accountable. Let's say if I'm supposed to deliver growth for an organization, that's my responsibility. If I don't deliver it, hold me accountable. The third is, at the top of the pyramid, is sense of ownership. That means a founder's mindset. So when you step into an organization, don't think of you as a 9-to-5 manager or a leader. Think of it as a founder. So when you spend money, had it been your money, would you have spent on it? Be frugal there. So the way you work should be like a founder. The founder's mindset is very, very important. And that's why I say take ownership, take risks, and finish the task no matter how difficult it gets. So it's a very old, again, back to the Olympics. So Paris Olympics got over. So taking an example from that. The guy called Derek Redmond, one of the finest athlete. Someone's trying to call me. Sorry. So this is a video.
Derek Redmond in the Olympics in Barcelona with the whole world watching him. Trained and prepared for this moment. Got down in the position and got ready to run. And he started running. Derek Redmond was running in the Olympics. People there from all over the world, and his daddy was cheering him, and he was running. He ran the first lap. He did real good. He was coming around ahead all over. In the second lap, he was doing real good until he pulled his Achilles heel and he went down. And then the crowd gasped. He went down. They were coming with the stretchers to get him. But he got up and he started hopping. He was hopping in pain and crying. The race was over. Everybody else had gone through the finish line. And his dad was pulling him along, saying, leave him alone. It's not about winning. It's about finishing. I don't care if it takes all night. I don't care if I have to cry and crawl and groan. I'm gonna cross.
What was it all about? Sometimes you can't win. You can't win all games, but it's about finishing. It's about completing whatever you take. So if you've been given the responsibility of a particular project or whatever it is, think of it as though it's your own company, you're the owner. How would you do it? So I would urge all of you to take the hat off a manager or an employee and wear a founder's hat. What is it called? A founder's hat. That's where the startup mentality or the mindset comes. That's another lesson. One was speed action. Second was about taking ownership, finishing things, wearing a founder's hat. Thinking out of the box. So typically, young professionals like you, when you walk into a corporate life, you get a lot of issues, challenges, problems. But what I will urge you is do not go to your boss or your supervisor or superior going and telling him that this is my problem, please help him. Please, whenever you're in a problem, you should. But think of solutions, and sometimes the solutions are not imminent. Think out of the box. How many of you have played this game of 4 dots and you had to join the dots without lifting the pen?
We have done it, sir.
Okay. How can you join the dots without lifting? How can you join 4 dots which are put in a square without lifting the box, without lifting your pen? Only by going out of the box. Isn't it? That's the only way. Try it out. Put 4 dots and take a pen and try to join all the 4 dots without lifting your pen. The only way you can do it is by Going out of the box. Absolutely. So one, I would urge you to think innovatively, put your thinking hat on, and whenever you are faced with a problem, think of a solution, and it makes a hell of a difference when you go back to your boss and say, hey, I have a problem, but I have 3 solutions or 2 or 3 options. Tell me what's the better one. I think this is the best one, but I want to ratify with you. So what your boss thinks of you is you're a good thinker. A good thinker, a person who tries to solve the problem and not just bring problems to him. So that's a thinking mindset, a thinking out of the box mindset is a behavior that you should develop. So let's watch this interesting video of how a cyclist, I don't know how many of you have seen this, how a cyclist uses aerodynamics to win a race. Here it is. Sounds simple, but nobody thought about it, saying that he was last. He ended up having first. This is real from one of the cycling races in Italy.
बोल कुछ नहीं बोल क्या
Going from out of the box,
करता हूँ 5 मिनट बैक कॉल कर रहा हूँ 5 मिनट
pristine in what you execute. So when you move into a corporate life, what doesn't matter, you'll be one thing, you'll have a subject called strategy. Everybody wants to be a strategist, but not many people can be a strategist. At early form of your career, what matters is your execution, how well you execute. And if I have to give you an example, if you're in the consumer business, the consumer in one corner of the country who buys your products doesn't look at how your strategy is, looks at your quality of execution. So this is a nice film which is picked from a place in Tamil Nadu, one of the small cities or villages in Tamil Nadu near Madurai, about how they execute really well in the kitchen.
The dough just keeps on flying at the Bacardi Indian restaurant. A magic-handed chef sends the disc soaring 20 feet through the air. 28-year-old Satyaraj has been making the dough, which is used for parathas and naans for the past 10 years, and has found a unique method of delivering them to the kitchen.
ரெண்டாவது வந்து எல்லாருமே பரோட்டாவை தான் விரும்பி சாப்பிடுவாங்க. ஏன்னா பரோட்டா போடுறது ஸ்டைலு, அந்த பிடிக்கிற கேட்சு எல்லாமே விரும்பி சாப்பிடுவாங்க.
Satyaraj first beats out the dough, then flattens it before spinning it across the restaurant. It's then caught by co-worker Manikanda, who operates the open oven.
பரோட்டா விடுறது வந்து நான் இங்கே எப்படி தேய்க்கிறேனோ அதேமாரி தான் அவனும் பிடிச்சி வைக்கணும். நான் எந்த அளவுக்கு தேய்ச்சி விட்றேனோ அந்த அளவுக்கு தான் கல்லுலையும் இருக்கணும். அதுமாரி அங்கே பிடிக்கும் பொழுது ஒரே அளவு பிடிக்கணும். கையை மடிக்கிறக்கூடாது, கையை வந்து அமுக்கிடக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா மாவு வந்து பச்சையாக இருக்கிறதுனால அது கொஞ்சம் சாஃப்டாக இருக்கும்.
Long video, so I would go to the next one. But still, what did you probably like from this particular video? Anything specific? I see a girl yawning there. Can I ask you the question? Good morning. Are you okay? What do you see? What do you like in the video?
The way he was throwing the naan.
But what is the story behind it? That's obvious. Even a kindergarten girl will tell you. Oh yeah?
Time management and the way of he is going to work.
Okay.
Efficiency.
But if the guy dropped the naan on the other side, or he threw it and things were not falling, what would have? One is practice, but most importantly, it is the quality of execution. They practiced it and they got the execution right. That's what matters. So the thought was there saying that it takes a hell of a long time to take all those doughs, flattened doughs from the place where he's flattening it to the oven where they are cooking it. We found instead of having a conveyor or some complex mechanism, he started throwing it, but it was the execution. It was the coordination between Satyaraj and Manikandan. These are two names if you would have heard. Satyaraj was the guy who was making the dough, flattening it. Manikandan was the guy who was at the oven, throwing it, picking it up, putting it in the oven. So execution was very, very, very critical and pristine execution. Lastly, I'll go about teamwork. We spoke about teamwork. And how many of you are familiar to this concept, which is a very popular concept in Bombay? It's on the 26th, next week, called Dahi Andi. Okay, so play a bit of a video, and in Bombay they're big money for, I'm from Bombay, you get big monies when you hit the Dahi Andi. So, one key element is everybody has his role very well defined in the Dahi Andi. The weakest or the thinnest of the guy is the guy who goes on the top. The guys with the maximum muscles, great shoulders are at the bottom. Very important is trust and respect. You know, the guy knows at the top that even if I fall, there's someone who's below me to hold me. I'm not going to fall off. And most important is singularity of the goal. We have one goal. It's like, you know, when Lord Krishna told Arjun, you have to close your eyes, one eye, and focus on one target. He got it right. So focus is very, very important. So they have one goal that they focus on, and they go after it. Okay? And most importantly, in that tough journey, it is how you enjoy. So corporate life is it's a rat race. Okay, but what's more important is enjoying that race, enjoying that journey. That's very, very important. So I'm going to move on to my last video. I don't want to bore you more. I know it's time up as well. Again, it's about a Hollywood movie. Can you guess which movie this is? Aircraft and very low to the ground. Anybody can guess? It's a movie where the very popular actor called Tom Hanks. It's a real life movie. It's a real life story. The movie is called Sully, S-U-L-L-Y. It was about a pilot, a very seasoned pilot, who landed the aircraft in the Hudson River. Hudson River is a river that's next to JFK, the John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. He landed the flight at the Hudson River, saving a lot of people, but he unfortunately was very disgraced for what he did. It was because the aircraft actually went through a bird hit, massive bird hit. So there it is.
distinctive derby.
Evacuate. Evacuate. Grab your rifles, please.
Opening forward door.
It's just a small glimpse, but the lesson that I want you to take is for him to move to the next possible airstrip was very difficult. He wouldn't have made it. So he said what to do. The water was next door, and it's a real life story. He landed the aircraft in the water, and he said it was my aircraft. He said founder's mindset again. And he ensured all, I think 135, I think 130 or 200 odd people who were there on the aircraft, all of them were saved. Of course, he was disgraced, saying, and it was not his fault, it was a verdict. But what is about taking thoughtful risks when you get into a corporate life? Very, very important. Take a risk, but take a thoughtful risk. I had a few more, but I think I'm out of time, so I'm going to call it off. These are a few life lessons. I'm happy to take any questions, any queries that you have. So I've told you any theory. Happy to answer anything that you have, you want to know about corporate life, about your 2 years that you want to spend, all yours. Thanks, Vikram. Thank you so much.
Or anything that you can recommend for us?
Okay. First and of course, you will have a curriculum which is well thought through by your faculty. But what I will urge you to do is, one is do a lot of case studies. That's very important. You can get nowadays, during our days we didn't have the internet. You have a lot of great case studies. Try to solve cases, real life cases. Second is try to pick as many projects as possible, because there's nothing best than doing it, learning by doing. The third I would say is, if you like something in marketing, let's say, just to give you perspective, like if you like communication, which is the art of storytelling, watch a lot of creatives which have won awards. Let's say the Best of Cannes. Cannes is an award that happens in France. The Best of Cannes. You take those, you'll find those reels year after year and watch that. Try to decode communication. What are they trying to say if it's communication? You will learn about the 6 P's or 8 P's or the 5 P's, whatever you call it. Try to see which P, which is product, packaging, proposition, which you can probably take a lot of interest in. But 3 things: case studies, do projects. If you like something within marketing, if it's communication, try to take that out today and keep learning. That's what I would say. Be a life learner. Anything else?
Like marketing, but we don't like sales.
So,
how does one address that at this age?
Sure. So if I have to give you a perspective, imagine there are 2 highways. Okay, it is a highway of sales and a highway of marketing. You could choose to be a specialist, saying I want to be only on one highway. I don't want to be on the other highway. Perfectly all right. But the joy of driving on both the highways is fantastic. Okay. If you want to probably be a general manager, which is not a specialist but a generalist, and head, and if you can, just to give you a perspective, if you just Google it, heads of companies, and not necessarily consumer-oriented companies, consumer-facing companies, other companies also, heads of companies, and if you say there are different functions, which functional heads are more likely to be the head of the company. Figure it out. Don't say supply chain guy. No offense against any other function. Finance guy, marketing sales guy, or an HR guy, whatever, or a production operations person. You'll find bulk of the leaders or in organizations, and they could be specialist organizations like IT, etc., or if finance organizations. But even in finance organizations, I've seen the bulk of the leaders have been people from the sales and marketing side. And I'm using sales and marketing because it's probably two sides of the same coin. So I would always urge you to drive on both the highways. But it's absolutely okay if you want to be a specialist and drive on. I don't know if I've answered the question. You become a better general manager if you do both. And I would say not just sales and marketing. If you get exposed to other functions, you should. But as a general manager, you're supposed to do all functions roll up to you. So you need to probably know all the functions. I don't know. So your aspiration. So if you probably, I would urge you to create your one-page profile where you probably put down what you are, and that's probably not like a biodata or a CV, a one-page PPT slide. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you aspire to be when you probably step into career maybe 5-10 years down the line? Do that. That's always helpful. Yes, sir.
I have a question. Maybe you can share something from your own career. You have worked in Hindustan Unilever, which is a very respected sales and marketing organization, and it has supplied talent to many industries. For example, you were the CEO of Del Monte for quite some time. Can you share your early days in Hindustan Unilever with the students?
Good. My first day was in a place called Fisherman Pate in Chennai. It's a very small place. I was on a TVS 50. TVS 50, yeah. TVS 50 or Luna, I don't know. Sitting in the back, salesman at the front. And 42 degrees Celsius. Chennai heat is bad. And I was posted in Chennai. Not that it was my choice, but Hindustan Unilever puts you anywhere. Posted in Chennai, TVS 50. 1 week I was on TVS 50. Tough one. Like, kahan aage phas gaya main? And first call to last call. 35 calls in a week. First call to last call. And every call, you had to call on every SKU. So it was tough. And getting back end of the week, not even month, the ASM calls you. See, as an ASM, you had to go through a salesman stint. So your ASM calls you, hammers you left, right, center, number kyun nahi kiya. So it was tough, saying I'm working hard, logging it out, hard work, putting your sleeves up, doing 30-35 calls, and doing it every day, meticulously. And in those days, we did not have all SFA, parchi pe hota tha. So and collating the reports at the end of the day and end of the month again, making the reports. So we spent, technically, I worked with DHL as well before Levers. And I worked with a courier. I worked with a courier in DHL. And it's very clear saying that 2 mahina courier ka kaam karna hai. Management trainee, blah blah, whatever it is. But 2 months you work as a courier. It's like if you're in a retail industry, till you do not spend in the front, on the shop floor, not shop floor, I would say if you're in the production, on the shop floor, in the shop, at the cash till, pata nahi chalta hai. You have to rough it up. Hard work is very important. So if you're in sales, don't think that I want to be in an ivory tower, air conditioned. You're privileged to have air conditioning in your college. We all didn't have. So very important to be grounded, be humble. And these are things that they teach you. Be humble, be grounded, respect even the lowest common denominator in the organization, because he's the guy who gets the dollar into the company, by the way. So respect that. And when you spend that 1 month, 2 months as a sales person on the ground, that's when you get to know the importance of a salesperson, because he's the guy who makes it or breaks it for the organization. So The other thing that actually you learn, saying that every other person in the organization, no matter what function you're from, you're supporting that guy on the front end to generate revenue for the organization. So everybody, if you're in a staff function or a line function is you're out there, either in production or in sales. If you're in any other function, you're all there to support the guy on the ground. That's the mindset you develop. So be humble. Humility always pays. You know, if you have great relationship in an organization, you can get away with murder as well. I mean, put it very bluntly. So maintain good relationships. Yeah, challenge, of course, that is always there. But, you know, we had 3 things in Hershey: accountability, alignment, and action. 3 A's, isn't it? That's what I still remember. It's been 10 years since I'm out of Hershey, but the 3 A's I still remember. Now, you have to remember a few key nuggets that every organization teaches you. And I still remember Vikram used to drive the 3 A's, so that's something that you should remember. Sorry, that's it. Cheers. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best.